it seems to me your soul could become your very best friend because lifetimes can come and go, but the soul
Absolutely.
is there forever, right? So do you have tips for people to learn how to tune into their soul?
Well, I think actually, in one sense, everything we do is soul related. But in terms of really connecting to the essence of what we are, I think spiritual practice is a really good way.
Mm-hmm.
Meditation, chanting, going to sacred places, everything that's clears out that residue that we came into to process,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think it's an intellectual way to do it. It's an emotional way through our hearts.
Mm-hmm.
It's through experience. That's why I'm particularly interested in the experiences like meditation, channeling, feeling the vibration of that. Even walking on sacred land, or one's own experience, and because that kind of goes beyond the mind and you can go deep into the heart. And the heart, it's more than we think of as the heart. It's kind of like it's more than our emotional body.
I see it as a living flame, kind of an eternal
That's
flame.
a great image. That's great.
And you know what? It seems to really long for sparks to keep it.
It does.
And seems to attune to the sparks that keep it alive, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And love, of course, is the big one, right?
Right, very big. But all these spiritual practices also help ignite it, and I like that, the flame. I think that's a very common image all over the world as a flame. In fact, I'm starting to do fire ceremonies, which are connecting to the energy of fire, which is connecting to the energy of the volcano, which then there's the flame.
Well, let's talk a little bit about, because you know you're here on Maui now, and as you mentioned, we have great love and respect, and I have a great awe actually for Haleakala. I wrote a song called "Sun Over Haleakala" actually, but I mean it is amazing the power of that that energy there.
It is.
So what has been your discoveries with Haleakala, and what has been what you feel like is an energy that you wish to share, that you've been learning from, and that you wish to share with others about Haleakala?
Well, I've been learning that Haleakala is it is a main anchoring point of the whole Earth. It helps keep the Earth. It's one of the main focal or energy line focused, a channel of energy that goes out into the cosmos. It's especially connected to Andromeda. And the Earth is suspended in space and has all these energy lines, electrical magnetic energies going to other planets and stars and galaxies. And they have connecting to us. It's all intertwined. So Haleakala is like a huge channel of energy. And underneath Haleakala is the molten lava, and it's I just heard yesterday that it's moving a little, and it doesn't mean we're going to have big earthquake, but it does mean it's moving, and I guess it generally is moving. It's, what do they call it? Not walking, but you know the plates are moving underneath Hawaii. What the work that seems to be coming up for me is that energy in the center of the Earth, the core energy. That's why I call some of what I'm doing core rejuvenation. It's kind of like going down into that core energy, which I just heard a few days ago is love. So we're reframing the concept of lava and molten fire rock as love, essentially. And so that love, we go into that love, and then we can channel it back out for ourselves, for the world. But in doing so, we are freeing energy that has been sort of dormant in the earth that could come out through a volcano or an earthquake. But by us as human beings getting in alignment with that energy, we can help release it without causing more earthly devastation.
I really do think, in a sense, you have this great love, as anyone that gets on this path does, for Mother Earth and also for the energy and the forces that are at work here. And I really do feel that now, in this year, 2012, that our resources are being called on to do work for the Earth and for ourselves. I don't think there's going to be a massive destruction plan, but I do think we all are being kind of pushed in our lessons. How do you sense what our lessons are that we're going to have to learn this year? And is there an evolution going on that does have to work with the forces of Earth and our own evolution together to grow into where we're supposed to go?
Many things, yes. I'll start with the last one. I was at a heiau in Hana, big heiau.
I know that one. It's a
Do you
great
know
heiau.
it? It is
Oh,
beautiful,
yeah. Yeah,
isn't
it is.
it?
A Pi'ilani heiau.
Yes,
Yeah.
Pi'ilani. And we were actually filming it, and I was channeling the energy, and all of a sudden I could feel this pull out into space beyond the center of our galaxy. And I could see that there was an unconditional love light coming to us from beyond our galaxy, from the galaxy beyond our galaxy. And then I also saw energy from the sun and then beyond the sun, gold light. So a combination of pink light with multicolors and gold light is coming into the earth, coming into our hearts as much as open as we are, or willing, I guess, as well. They kept saying willing, so it's sort of,
Oh, there's God's will, and
yeah.
we do have free choice, right?
Right, we do. And so that light's coming into the earth. There's a lot of support around for helping us stay in balance, because there is a potential to shift, a polar shift. Just because if you look at the science suggests that could happen. But I believe we, as human beings, spiritual beings, we can help soften that radically. And so I think for this year, one of the things, again, when I was on Mount Kilauea, and we were at the sulfur vents, I guess you call them, the message there was that this year would be a year when we would open up telepathically tremendously. We would, the gates would open. We would be able to hear each other's thoughts. It would much more than just, you think of someone in the telephone calls, rings. It's more than that. It's like this huge opening of our psychic abilities. And that, in part, is to help us connect to the cosmos, to help us stay centered, to help us grow spiritually, and also to help the earth stay more in balance, because the earth is like us. Where there's wounds, where there's constriction, limitation, violence, that will be constricting. So she, as a being, will not be able to move more as easily as she could, flow more easily. So it's all intertwined. So that's one, telepathic communication. Certainly all the lessons, all the karmic issues come rising up really fast.
Oh, you got to get them up to get them out, right?
You do. Not always.
it's always interesting in spiritual retreats how those things happen. There's amazing things that happen when people gather.
It's true.
And that they don't expect sometimes in a spiritual retreat, because the energies get moved around and come up.
They do, and then on all different levels, on personal, sometimes issues around the family come up, because here we have a group and there's, maybe a mother and father image, and then all the projection we put onto that. We have all the brothers and sisters and all those, there's spiritual retreats are ripe for all that, I think. So.
Well, you're going to be delving into sharing your understanding of how to share sacred spaces, which is so key, because I do understand what you're saying. I think there's certain presences in certain sacred spaces, and I think there's quite a few here on Maui that are my favorite. And there really is a lot that can be gained from understanding sacred spaces. What are some of the things you wish to cover when you teach on sacred spaces?
Well, what is it, which I explained earlier, it's this power grid and the crossroads. And then that it's like it's like walking into a healing temple. And I'm sure that's why people build temples all over the world, over these places, because that energy is particularly strong. So by being there, meditating there, opening up our energy systems, being willing to receive, all kinds of things can happen. You can see past lives of your life. You can see the past that happened in a place like Haleakala, maybe some rituals that happened a long, long time ago. You could experience some physical healing, like you might have a hurt elbow and all of a sudden it's gone.
Wow.
All kinds of things.
You have done wonderful work. You have information about your films and the sacred spaces and all of your books, and you have a few websites, which we'll post at the end. If you were going to say one website where people could find out more, if they were going to go to one, what would be a site that they could go to find out more about you and what's coming up?
Akasha Entertainment.
AKASHA Entertainment.
Right.
.com.
Right. And Akasha refers to the Akashic Records, which is everything that was, is, and will be. Mm-hmm. So it's
that covers a lot.
That's why I couldn't name my business that, so I could do whatever I wanted to.
Wide open field there. Everything that was, anything that is, and anything that will be.
Exactly.
I like that. No limitations there, right?
Right. No limitations.
This is all such beautiful work, and I love seeing people like you doing your work for love. You're doing a lot all over the world. And it's really nice that you're centered here. But you still travel a lot. Mm-hmm. But it's really great to have you centered here.
Thank you.
In Hawaii.
I want to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can understand that. I really, really can. If you had one thing to tell people that were interested in this field, and there's so many different levels of people here on Maui, so many very aware people, but what would be kind of a word or two of wisdom that you'd like to share as we close out our conversation here about things for people to remember on the spiritual path that they can do to help?
I'll channel it for a second.
Okay.
I don't know which guide it's going to be. There is a place that all belong. This place is not only a physical place, it is a spiritual place within. And this place does not die. It stays always with you, always and always. And this place will be expanding in the next few hours and the next few days and the next few years as the world shifts into a new dimensional understanding of time, space, and color.
You write down after you meditate your messages and
sometimes I don't. I forget to.
Yeah, I try to write them down. There's
Yeah.
so many wonderful teachings that can come to you. And I really, as you said, I'd love to encourage people to find out more about the work. Now is the time. You know? Now is if you've been thinking about it, don't delay. Now is a really good time to get involved in this field and do whatever you can do. And it can even be just doing good,
It can be doing
It can be being kind. But whatever you can do, I think now is the time for people to really get on the path to do it. And the rewards are wonderful, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think how blessed you've been in your life.
Oh, I know. So very much so. But I also think that there's a lot of help out there. A lot of people don't know what to do. They just like, I don't feel anything. I don't see anything. But actually, especially going to a sacred place, you don't have to do anything.
It's amazing, yeah. It's wonderful. Well, thank you, Carolyn. It's been such a treat talking to you. I love talking to you about all the wonderful things you've done. We really just kind of had a little dipping of our toe into your work that you do, and it's been a wonderful conversation to be able to discover the great work you're doing to serve people. And again, people can find out more. We'll be posting some of your websites, and people can find out more about what you're going to be doing here very soon. So a big mahalo and a big aloha to you in appreciation for your work.
Thank you.
Aloha.
Mahalo.
Mahalo.